Krasting has been a tour guide in Berlin for 11 years now. He specializes in the city's eventful history. For each stop the tour bus makes, a video depicts the way things were way back when.
Why are tourists drawn here? Well, Berlin is packed with history, especially from the 20th century. That's what makes it so fascinating. And it's what makes the city so fascinating for me as a historian, too.
Our first stop today is Friedrichstraße, one of the best-known streets in the historic center of Berlin. It's also where the Admiralspalast can be found. The theatre has been a favoured destination for entertainment seekers since it first opened just over a century ago.
This is my first recommendation, the Admiralspalast. Back then, Friedrichstraße was among the most famous entertainment districts in all of Europe. At night, the Admiralspalast was hopping, just like the rest of the street, with a theatre and one pub after the next. There were some wild goings-on during the Roaring '20s. The Admiralspalast offered entertainment for nearly every taste. There were cinemas, a luxurious ice ballet, public baths, and of course a review theater in the large hall. These old traditions are being revived today. I enjoy coming to performances here because it's one of the few places of its kind that have been preserved in Berlin.
Since the venue reopened in 2006, it's featured dance, theatre and music galore.
Heute Nacht oder nie, sollst du mir sagen nur das eine, ob du mich liebst.
The next tip is in Berlin's Tiergarten district, the Haus der Kulturen der Welt. Because of its shape, locals gave it the fitting nickname, the pregnant oyster.
This is my second tip. When it opened in 1957, it was one of the most modern structures in the world, also because of its amazing roof. It was a gift by the Americans to the city of West Berlin, so it had a political role during the Cold War. And it was quite close to the border of East Berlin.
Built as a Congress hall, the building features two steel arcs that support the roof.
The architecture is fantastic, but it's had its problems. In 1980, there was a huge boom and part of the building collapsed. People like to claim it was hit in an attack by a Soviet fighter plane. In reality, though, it was a construction error. It reopened 25 years ago in 1987. But it's perfectly safe now, fortunately. I like going inside, too. A lot of cultural events are held here. But today it's quiet, so we can enjoy the modern space-age ambience. It's more than 50 years old now.
Today the hall is a venue for cultural exhibitions and events with a contemporary and international focus. Our third recommendation takes us to the eastern part of the city and the Karl-Marx-Allee Boulevard.
Our last stop was West Berlin in the 1950s, and now we're paying a visit to East Berlin in the 1950s. My third tip is a street that was the first monumental socialist boulevard of the post-war era. It rose from the rubble in the 1950s.
Designed as palaces for workers, the apartment blocks were a showcase for the East German regime.
Some people call this the sugar baker style. Art historians would call it the Soviet neoclassicism style. They're both right because of the shapes, the decorations, the adornment on the facades.
Today, this relic of socialist architecture is once again a popular residential address.
That's all for now. I hope we'll meet again. I'm going to go up and enjoy the view.
The sweeping view of the 2-kilometer-long boulevard is indeed impressive.